Casiotone 405, and we're going to talk about the chord section. The chord section is, a lot of it is integrated with the rhythm section. Some of it isn't, and there's overlap. It's complicated, but it'll work out. We'll all be fine. We're not in danger. Okay, so first I want to talk about manual bass. And manual bass is something we can demonstrate without invoking the rhythm section. And so typically we're playing this. Just playing the whole breadth of the scale. You'll notice that we have this indicator here that things are going to be a bit different in the chord section, and this defines like where the chord section applies directly, so you know. Okay, so the first thing we're going to dive into is the manual bass. And what happens is when you turn on the manual bass, you no longer have these bottom notes. You have a quote bass sound unquote. Let's switch that on. I'm missing the slider cap, which is sad. Okay, now we have this. Now you might notice that that's not very deep, and sadly you can't really go any deeper than that. So that's pretty much what you get for bass. And it goes as high as these indicators go. So as it currently stands, the bottom of your tone section is about the middle of the bass section. But then you can, do what you want to do. And that's your bass sound. Like it's just there, and it sounds exactly like that. Next, we have Casio chord, and it has two different settings. Now, I'm not sure what happens if you turn off the bass. It'll probably just exist without the bass. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens. I've switched off the bass. Now I'm going to switch on fingered. Now, fingered... why am I blushing? Fingered means that you have to play the chords you expect to have happen. So... let me see something. The bass comes on when you switch it to fingered. Interesting. Oh my God. Okay. Let's switch on Casio chord to fingered. And yeah, the bass comes on, whether you have the bass on or not. Once you switch it to fingered, now it's your responsibility to play the chord you want. Which is interesting because theoretically, you don't know where the bass is going to land when you play the chord. Okay, so I've played a D minor chord, and we can hear that the bass is playing the D. Now I'm going to play a second inversion G, and let's see what it does. I don't know. It's not. You'll notice I'm still playing that D in the bass, and yet it somehow knows that because I'm playing a G chord, that it needs to go to the G. That is the magic of technology. My audience, I was going to use some old-fashioned terms, and I'm not going to now. Okay, so what happens if I play a C in first inversion after this? It knows I'm playing a C. So basically, I am playing the chords that I want, and those chords are represented in this chord sound that Casio has chosen. And somehow the computer in here, the very primitive ancient computer, is identifying what the root of the chord I'm playing is. And it's playing that with our manual bass sound, which is currently off, but apparently that doesn't matter. It's just there. So, I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty cool functionality where you can just have this on, and it's going to not only give you the bass root, but chords that you want that are not in the timbre of the sound you're using. So you'll notice there's kind of like a little bit of wiggling in there as it jumps around. Because, I mean, whatever digital functionality exists in this ancient device is, it's not going to be very fast. But it is still like examining what you're playing, and it's coming up with the conclusions that it needs to come up with, which are, here's the chord you're playing, but here's what I need to create for the bass. So you've got a friend, a robot friend in the Casiotone 405 that is identifying what chord you're playing that with the chord timbre that exists in the chord section, but also making sure that your bass is the root. Now, if you're trying to play your bass not in the root, I can see where that will be a problem, but also you have a lot of opportunities to do something like that. You should, if you're going to play within the domain of the Casiotone 405, you should allow it to do what it does. But anyhow, that is the manual bass in the Casio chord fingered part of the chord section of the Casiotone 405.